Dynamics. Today we're going to be installing our dual color plasma rods on the back of a 2014 Street Glide. Now because they're dual color, meaning red running in brake and amber turn signal, we're also going to be installing our turn signal decoder. The turn signal decoder will break out the turn signal function from the brake and turn wires. The bike does not have a turn signal only function, so we use the turn signal decoder to do that. We're also going to be installing our NPR adapter to make the connections a little bit easier. We'll get the bike tore apart and start our install now. Now that you got the saddlebags removed and the seat off, you're ready to get started with the install. Pretty simple install. A couple little steps we'll show you here to make that easier. First thing you want to do is you can take some iso heat or isopropyl alcohol and clean the surface where the plasma rod is going to mount. So we'll do that now. And you're just cleaning any dirt and wax off that may be on the surface. Do the other side. Now, what you want to do, you've got that good and clean, is you can take a tape measure and a marker and mark down from the top 2 inches. And you can do that on the side. And what that's going to do, it's going to be the top side of the plasma rod. That way both sides look even. So once you've got that marked, you can take your 3M promoter ampule and just crack that. And you'll see the sponge get wet. And then you're just going to promote this surface. All the way from your mark to the bottom. Do the same thing for the other side. Let that dry 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll get ready to stick this on the bike. Once that 3M primer sets up, you're ready to get this stuck. Now, if you look at the plasma rods, the wire to the top, the tape's going to be opposite sides. So you want the wire at the top, taped to the inside, felt to the back side. And what you want to do is just pull the tape back just short a little bit. And the way I do this is I'll get a little bit stuck. Make sure it's even. You can step around the back side of the bike, make sure that it's even. Now I'll stick this side and then the other to make sure that they're good and even. And you can make slight adjustments if you need to. But once you're satisfied with that, you'll just pull the liner off a little bit at a time, working the tape down. Once that 3M promoter sets up, that'll be rock solid and you're good to go. Now we want to route the wires. So I'll get started doing that. And you can go in behind the saddlebag mount. And you just follow the saddlebag mount all the way down. You can jump off to the shock line for the airline. Now you don't want to pull that wire too tight. You want a little bit of slack. That way the back of the wires don't pull out of the back of the plasma rod. You take tie wrap that up. Repeat the same thing for the other side. And now you get ready to do the connections underneath the seat. Now that you got the plasma rods mounted to the bike, wires routed underneath the seat, you're ready to plug in the turn signal decoder. We're also going to be installing the NPR adapter. If you don't want to install the NPR adapter, you can use the posi taps that come with the plasma rods. You can actually make those connections in this harness right here. Just choose the appropriate wires, but we're going to choose for this install to do the NPR adapter. Now the plug you want to plug everything into is this black plug on top of the battery next to the ECM. Now, looking at it, it's a little deceiving. The harness in the rear of the bike is actually the signals coming from the bike. The plug that's on the front side is actually going to the rear. So this particular install, inputs and outputs are not that critical. But if you're going to install a RSG Magic Strobes for this particular bike, inputs and outputs would matter. So for this install, we're not going to be too concerned with that. So you'll just start by unplugging 2 plugs. You'll plug in the NPR adapter. plug in the decoder to that, and then the decoder into the harness going to the rear. It's called daisy chaining. You can plug multiple things in. So you'll get those plugs tucked out of the way. Gives you the outputs for the amber turn signals, and we'll get started with the connections right here. Pretty simple. So what you want to do is you want to cut down any excess wire you have. So we've got plenty of wire length here, so we'll cut that down. And you can strip the sheathing back. And that's going to expose the 4 wires for each plasma rod. Now, each side there's a couple wires we can do that are common. You can do the ground, the running, which is the blue, and the brake, which is the red. The 2 ambers are the 2 turn signals, so you want to keep those separate. So we'll start by joining those all together. Now you can twist the 2 blues, which is your running light. The 2 blacks, which is ground. Two reds, which is your brake. Again, you want to leave your 2 ambers separate because that's your right and left turn signal. So you can trim this down to about 1/4 to 3/8 in length. And once you get the wires twisted together, you just want to color match the wires to the NPR. So you do blue to blue. The posi taps and the posi locks are simple to use. Just start by unscrewing the end and then insert the wire. Tighten it back down. Black to black. And then red to red. Now that leaves your 2 turn signal wires from your plasma rods, which will attach to the turn signal decoder. If you look at the turn signal decoder, there's a brown and a purple with a red stripe. Those are your outputs going to your turn signals. So brown would be right. Locate the right one. Purple would be left. Now all your connections are complete. You get that tidied up underneath the seat real nice and neat, and you'll test operation. Now that you got the seat back on, saddlebags back installed, you're ready to test function. So just turn the bike on. That should give you running light. You can apply the brake light. You do turn signal function. Right turn. Left turn. That's the install of the dual color plasma rods with a turn signal decoder on your 2014 and up street glides with the CAN bus bikes. If you're going to be installing just red plasma rods, the turn signal decoder is not needed. You use dual converters instead. Install is pretty much the same. Install right there in the same plug, same area there. If you have any questions, just give us a call or visit us online at www.customdynamics.com.